Good morning, all. So this is another short video to share an update with you guys. Yesterday, as always, I keep doing test flights just to, make sure that the motors and everything is working. And yesterday's test flight just didn't seem to go as well as the others. The drone didn't seem to be maneuvering as well. It seemed to be noisy. It wasn't reacting the way it had previously. And so I noticed that if I take this engine, I get this nice whoosh sound, right? Nice whoosh sound. I take this engine, sounds like a rocker arm. And this one, same way, rocker arm. So, talked to Ken. General impression is that this motor and this motor definitely have something wrong inside, and so the general consensus is we're going to replace both of them. I have to open the case again anyway because I want to redo the solder on the engine mounts more professionally. So looks like these two motors are being replaced. I want to give a special shout out to both Ken and Chris Hope for providing the funds to get those two motors, which should show up here sometime next week. We also have more of the gimbal parts that should be showing up here as well. I believe the gimbal motors will be here first week of October, and the gimbal case, the new camera case, may possibly show up next week. I also wanted to give a shout out to Scott Carpenter for providing me a lipo bag, which was very kind, because I live on these things. I'm terrified of fires, so having the lipo bag was a nice treat, and so special thanks to him for that. Good morning, guys. I see you guys chatting. Unfortunately, on this phone, it appears so quickly that by the time I look down at it, it's fading away. So I will go back and reread those, I promise. But like I said, this is just a really short update. She's getting two front motors because this one is just the worst of the bunch. It's just so loud. So aside from that, that's my update for today. So you guys will probably get a chance to see some more teardown photographs or videos next week when I reopen the case and go after those solders and replace those motors. Other than that, that's pretty much it for right now. As soon as I have the other parts, then you guys will start seeing the work being done on the gimbal. I've never actually seen a video yet of anybody replacing the camera insides, so that should be interesting. I'll look around and see if I can find one. Yeah, you're right. It does sound like a coffee grinder. Excuse me. Very early in the morning. Haven't had coffee. But yeah, this one, I mean, I was always kind of concerned about the damage from the crash as to whether or not it damaged anything in here. And for the most part, the motors work for testing and such. So I didn't really put too much concern into it. I should have. It would have been nice to have the motors when I first changed out the frame, but it's okay because I've learned how to take this thing apart so many different ways now. I'm not really worried about it. I'll have it probably done in an afternoon. So aside from that, like I said, she's had 5 successful test flights. The farthest that she's gotten away from me so far was about half a block. and I don't think I've exceeded an altitude of more than about 15 feet, just for fear that something's going to fail and she's going to fall and hit the ground. So keep it over grass and keep it safe until I feel confident enough that the work that I've done is solid. So that's where we stand right now. Now, one question I asked Ken yesterday, maybe you guys know this, you can comment in the section if you want to. The side sensors, okay? I'll take off, and the rear sensors, of course, see me, and they start screaming their heads off, and the front sensors, of course, are not calibrated yet, but they do seem to work at certain distances. But I never, ever, 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 ever get any warnings from the side sensors. And Ken's suggestion is that the side sensors only come on if it's doing a return to home. And so what I'd like to know, if anybody knows, is when does the thing use the side sensors? Is it something that I should be seeing on the screen all the time? Because I have enabled every sensor option for the drone just to make sure that it was all working. But I never see the little ring, on the side of the display showing that there's anything beside it. And I've even flown it up next to like a small bush and got it within the same distance that the rear sensor was screaming, and it didn't indicate anything. So just kind of curious if you know the answer to that. Throw it in the comment section. I'd appreciate it. Because I want to make sure that I didn't miss something and didn't plug something in or have more damage that I didn't know about. So that's it for this morning. Look for more updates next week once the new motors show up. And we should have some, like I said, some new videos next weekend, hopefully with this thing in the air and sounding great. So thank you guys very much for chiming in this morning, and have an absolutely awesome week. Take care. Bye.